Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Welcome to this module for Rich Coach University, all about health and wellness. My name is Dr. Elena Pezzini, and I'm your facilitator for today. Okay, so this is one of the best health questionnaire I found, and I've successfully used with many of my clients all over the world, and I've also used with my coaches and the coaches who work with me. Okay, so this questionnaire is designed for the coach to gain awareness on the health status of the client, and for the client to also gain the same level of awareness, more awareness. You can do it with them, with your clients. They can answer these questions while you're asking them, so in real time, or they can do it as an action, commitment, homework, okay? So most coaches are not medical doctors, so it's important to disclaim it, that this tool, we're not medical doctors, and so this tool is to expand awareness. We're not telling them what to do. That's not coaching, that's consulting. This is just designed for them to keep track of where they are with their level of awareness and decide if they need to improve it or change anything, and what they want moving forward in this area. So just like anything, money, relationships, anything, weight, a food diary, it's important to track what we're doing. So in this case, an intake of foods, liquids, exercise, to really realize, what's happening, to have a total. Okay, so that way knowledge is power. What we know we can change, what we don't know we cannot change. So for instance, FitBit or the Apple Watch, sorry, they are other tools. I'll actually add them here: Apple Watch, Fitbit, etc. Okay, so they're really designed to track you, to track what you're doing and remind you. So there are some other free resources like this choosemyplate.gov, where the browser just went. Right, there you go. It's free. It's actually a government resource. And, it is as private as anything on the internet. So it's password protected, but where did I go? Just use your own judgment. So additional tools are applications like MyFitnessPal, that for the most part are free or close to free, that you can find on your smartphone. Okay, so all right, so here's the protocol. So awareness about where they live, just in case, they're choosing to move at some point based on different needs. Okay, so how old they are, status. I mean, sometimes this can help the coach as well, occupation. Okay, so taking a photo of themselves, that can be a big eye-opener for some people. Recording a 3-day eating and drinking log. If they've never tracked what they eat and drink and how much they exercise, this is going to be a big eye-opener. Often just because they have to track it, if they tend to overeat, which I've been a victim, which I've been guilty as charged myself, it's just enough to remind you, okay, I'm overeating, I've already eaten enough, and just because now I have to write it down again and show it to my coach, then that helps not to overeat, okay? So there you go. All right, so here it's a self-assessment, okay? So they rate themselves, the level of health, if they have any physical pain. So sometimes it can be emotional pain, but in this case, it's actually physical pain. And stress, as you know, stress is the silent killer. So if they don't manage it, it can come out as an illness, as a severe, sometimes even terminal illness. Emotions, as you know, they have to have an outlet. So if negative emotions, if they're not dealt with, they usually have very annoying, unpleasant, sometimes lethal consequences and outcomes. Okay, weight, color of hair, any hair loss, so that sometimes it's just maybe they're using the wrong shampoo or something. Sometimes it's an easy fix, but if they don't bring awareness to it, and then of course this is something they can discuss with their hairdresser. You know, in my case, I do my best to live a chemical-free as much as possible life. And even my hairstylist is green. She's eco-friendly. My manicurist or pedicurist also eco-friendly. Detergents I use, face creams, shampoos, anything, all the foods I use are as chemical-free as much as possible, as raw as much as possible, as organic as much as possible. Personally, I've been vegan most of my life, so plant-based, but it's what's their best for them. They get to decide once they're aware of what's happening to their body, inside and out. Okay, so the intimacy is considered part of longevity by many famous doctors, including Dr. Oz. Sometimes they're not willing to disclose their intimacy or sexual life, and that's totally fine. You know, we're not nosy. This is just for them to bring awareness again, or to improve what they want. So here are some questions about intimacy. All right, that they can disclose only if they're open to. So as you can see here. Okay. So for women, questions about their cycle. So they realize if they need to see a doctor or not, or if everything is working well. So these questions, they may not know the answer, and they may need to do their usually well recommended yearly physical blood test, urine test to see their level of sugar, blood pressure, all of that, breast exam for women, and so on. I'm personally not a fan of mammogram, and there are chemical-free alternatives to mammogram for people who choose that route, okay? All right, so realize how many chemicals are they exposed to. Ammonia is in a lot of hygiene products, detergents, household products. So it's actually in the water as well, in a lot of tap water in most cities. So, you know, are they using water filters or not? You know, so again, you don't make the decision for them. They decide what's best for them. All right, so okay, living environment. Sometimes it depends, you know, on where you are. I've rented vacation rentals when I'm on vacation, and there was mold. The landlord or landlady wasn't even aware of that. So very important that you know what's going on. They can be very toxic and lethal. Some cultures don't think so, but okay. So also, you know, are there any chemicals in your home environment, home office, or work environment, or so on? Or do you want to make any changes? Okay, your clothing. You know, I like to wear as much as possible natural fabrics like cotton, hemp, modal. I don't use silk because I'm vegan. I personally don't use wool because I'm vegan, and I'm against using anything from animals and compromising their health. So, but that's a personal choice, okay? So sometimes these cotton clothing are not the most aesthetically beautiful, but it's a personal choice. There is also all those artificial fabrics like, what are they called? It's in everything. It's what is it called? Polyester. Okay, and so are they okay with that? Do they know where it's from? Sometimes it's hard to avoid, so they can make their own choice. And of course, there are different current of thoughts. Different school of thoughts for it, like such as it's more environment friendly because it dries faster, even if it may be from petroleum. Okay, so cotton takes longer, so therefore more energy, is not as clean, and so therefore it uses a lot of energy, you know. Okay, are they aware of smart meters inside the homes to reduce the cost of utilities bills and energy? And are there any implications to using the smart meters? Do they have an option to use solar panel, and so on and so on? Okay, their pool, is it chlorinated, or is it like mine, salt water, which technically still has a little bit of chlorine, but way less than an all chlorine pool? And what are the differences between all of them? They have to do their own research and decide for themselves. Okay, water filters and so on. Okay, so a lot of people have a hard time sleeping, having a good night's sleep. Sometimes, of course, it's psychological. They have a lot in their head. They're worried, or anxiety. They don't sleep well. Sometimes it's just connected to something as simple as they have too much light in where they sleep, or there is access to a lot of noises, so they cannot wind down and relax. There are too many electrical devices plugged in, and they can still emit frequencies that interfere with their sleep, and so on and so on. So they can be aware of all of that, okay? All right, and all right, so after these questions, they more or less now have hopefully clearer ideas. So if they're not happy with their current health level, then what do they want to improve? Okay, let's set up some goals: 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and so on. Okay. Then, of course, let's go back to their fitness level. You know, what do they like to do for exercise? Dancing, skating, walking, running, jogging, biking, hula hopping, swimming, etc., 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 yoga. So, of course, a lot of people don't have a good regimen. They are not consistent with their fitness, and therefore their health level reflects it. Okay, do they want to be more consistent? Do they want to perhaps explore new exercise activities and so on? Help them brainstorm along, research what else is out there available to them. Okay, more questions about sleep, etc., etc. Okay, so all right, so making sure that, you know, their body works well with number 1 and 2. Hygiene. Okay, so deodorant. Some of them have chemicals, some others don't. Okay, and same thing for antiperspirants. So, you know, are they aware of that? Do they care? They don't care. Same thing with fragrances. Some people are even allergic to fragrances. Even you know, do they prefer essential oils? Are they okay with those scents? And so on and so on. Same thing with moisturizer. Moisturizer, are they using something pretty raw, cold pressed, vegan, plant-based, or are they using chemicals? And so on. Are they okay with that? Same thing with the hair dye again. Going back to the hairdresser, hairstylist. Same thing with manicure, pedicure, makeup. Okay, so women, you know, are they okay with, is everything okay with, with their rhythm, okay? Dentist, again, I use a holistic dentist, as I may have mentioned, that is as much as possible chemical-free. You know, do they go get checked out reoccurringly every 6 months for 6 months for a cleaning, and so on and so on? Do they need insurance, and so on and so on? Okay. Flossing, anyway, that's a big one. A lot of people don't, unfortunately, but you know, that should be the task of a dentist to remind them, not the coach. This is again designed to bring awareness, and so on and so on. Water intake, okay, are they drinking enough? Do they feel dehydrated, and so on and so forth. So juices, you know, a lot of them, just like a lot of food, contains a bunch of white sugar. You know, do they need sugar, or can it be 100% juice? Can it be cold pressed or raw, or does it need to be pasteurized? Well, in my opinion, it doesn't, but it lasts longer on the shelves. So does it have the same nutritional values? Probably not. So make them realize something fresh versus pasteurized. What's the difference? Okay. Same thing with anything, milk or non-dairy products. Okay. You know, there is a lot of food poisoning. I just had a friend who was traveling, got food poisoning. So sometimes that can be really, really crazy, and very painful, sometimes even lethal if not addressed on time. Salmonella, you know, yes, I think it just happened. The veterinarian was telling me this morning. So romaine lettuce, spinach with salmonella, even the organic one, you know, so be aware. I grow as much as possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but I do grow greens, kale, spinach, all of them in my yard. So I just go pick them up. They're pretty organic. So, all right. So realize if they're having enough protein intake, enough fat, and if they have a good nutrition, you know, balance. A lot of people don't eat enough vegetables. That's what I'm seeing with a lot of our clients. So perhaps the coach can help them come up with new ways to eat vegetables. They don't have to be steamed. Maybe they can be raw. They can be sauteed, grilled, with some sauces or spices. Okay? So help them realize that there are lots of alternatives out there. So I eat as raw as much as possible, but I do have some cooked food. And being vegan, of course, you know, always have to watch the protein intake and the carbs intake, make sure I don't have too many carbs. So, and being Italian, you know, I grew up on pasta and pizza. So, but I can't afford it. I can't afford pasta and pizza. So I find alternatives. Pizza made out of cauliflower crust, pasta made out of beans, garbanzo beans, lentils, mung beans, and so on. It's actually very inexpensive and filling. Great. A lot of people are allergic to nuts. I am not. I heard though that it's if they just soak them in water, they become enzymatic, and they usually can't tolerate them. Okay, so I personally don't do gluten. I'm not allergic to it. A lot of people are, but it's just a choice based on what's going on in the world with the whole genetically modified things going on. So, but that's a personal choice. I love soy, but I don't eat it for the same reason. Okay, detox. Some people like to detox once a season, a day or two or longer, as long as it's healthy and they know what they're doing, and perhaps their medical doctor knows about it too. Caffeine, I don't have a problem with it. Personally, I use organic coffee. I don't always drink it. But I don't put sugar in it. I use stevia, once in a blue moon, coconut sugar, all organic. And the creamer I use is definitely unsweetened, made out of almond or coconut or some nuts. So, but they, not everybody reacts the same to caffeine. So at what time do they have it? Does it make them hyper or hyper pressure or agitated, or does it work? Okay, I don't drink alcohol. Some people drink it socially. It's up to them, so that they're aware. Hopefully they're not alcoholics. That can happen. Smoking, same thing. I don't smoke. I don't use drugs. Right now marijuana is legal in a lot of places. I'm personally against it. I do use CBD, which is the medicinal part of the marijuana plant, without THC, that makes you high, and I just use it as a painkiller, natural painkiller if I need it, if I run too hard and my feet hurt, or I even use it for my pets, and it's safe, and it's even cancer preventive, according to some research. Okay, emotions are really big. Sometimes we do have clients who are depressed. You know what to do with them. We're not therapists, so therefore they need to see a doctor and a psychotherapist. Hopefully, yes, some human emotions come and go. Hopefully, most times they're happy and in charge of their life, feel in charge. So a lot of negative emotions, though, like I said earlier, has been proven that do make people sick. And sometimes it's something major, like cancer. There have been studies, again, you're not a medical doctor, but if they want to know more, there have been studies on the internet that show that a lot of people who contract cancer have unreleased negative emotions. There may be something else, of course, hereditary or poor diet and just something physical. My pets, 2 of them died of cancer. I don't think they had unreleased emotions. In their case, was something different. But okay, they need to be aware of what's going on with themselves. Trapping negative emotions is not good. They need to let them go. Okay, so being aware of their heritage. So, even famous celebrities, Angelina Jolie, she knew that she had certain genes. She was at risk of certain diseases, so she took proactive, preventive measures. All right, so, okay. So, and more questions, just about their self-esteem. You know, do they believe in destiny, or they just believe in luck? You know, as coaches, we do push them to take control and charge of their lives. They create everything they want with their actions, right? And their power of intentions and their strategies. So I'm not a believer in luck. We make most of our luck. Some things may be out of our control, like an earthquake, but of course it's a collective consciousness, and we all have to do our part. Yeah, so we all need to recycle, need to use as little amount of carbon footprint, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, so we all need to do our part. So this earlier today, I had a client from a group call who she's a PhD candidate. She's obviously very intellectually smart, and she just wasted half of her income into a fortune teller. And I was heartbroken. And I said, you don't need that. You create your own luck. You don't need somebody to tell you what's going to happen. So, but of course, you know, we're not supposed to tell them what to do. But I was running late. I had to wrap up the session, and so that's what I said. But you know, they need to come up. They need to realize that they are in control. All right, so that more or less sums up this module. To again gain awareness for the coach and for the client. Have fun with it, and for the coach, make sure you do fill out your own, and do share with your own coach or accountability buddies or coach colleagues or with us, okay? You have got the power with Rich Coach University. And I will see you soon. Ciao. Mwah.